production systems. So what we did was develop the grazing facilities with the mixed forages, cool season, warm season forages, and the grasses and legumes. Also, we maintained the volunteer browse species; those were available in the grazing plots. Also, planted few browse species and managed there in the grazing plots. Also, developed silvopasture system, and also used some of the woodlands plots for grazing. So these are the pictures you can see. The browse species planted in the pasture plot over here. Another browse species. This is the mulberry over here, bush indigo. This is the silvopasture system developed, and this is the plot woodland grazing. So then what we did, we stocked the animals, sheep and goat, in rotationally stocked in that different grazing systems, and data collected on the vegetation, biomass and quality and their preference, browsing height in case of browse species, animal performance data collected every 2 weeks. Those were the live weight, Hamacha and body condition score, and animal behavior each season. Wherever they were, we collected the animal behavior data. So these are some of the plots when animals were put in there. You can see over here the silvopasture system with cool season grazing, cool season forages, silvopasture with the warm season forages, woodland plots before grazing, and they are over here, the goats. So these are the results. You can see when we mix the forages, the Marshall ryegrass mixed with the crimson clover, winter peach, hairy vetch, they increase the quality. Over here, higher protein, and then higher biomass production compared to the shoal grass pasture. And when the mixture was increased from 2 to 3, these are the cool season forages in these three rows, and you see the higher protein compared to 2 mix, and then Tridian. And these are the forages, the warm season forages. You can see low in quality compared to the cool season forages with legume plus grass mixture. So when we did the behavioral study, animals spend more time in the strips with the high quality forages versus the low quality forages with 2 mix versus 3 mix. Goats spend 36 to 37% higher time in those high quality forages, and sheep spend 39 to 49% more time in the strips with the high quality forages versus low quality forages. Over here, this is the browse study with goats in the woodland grazing system, and we detected 37 different species, 26 of which were really eaten by goats, up to the average grazing average height of 5 to 5.25 feet. This was 2015 data, this was the 2018 data, and then vegetation removal, 50 to 75% of the available vegetation. And you can see the quality and the tannin content and the preference scale of the animals. This part means the highly preferred species over here, and then who is the second preferred species. And you can also see the tannin content, the protein content is not very bad. It's close to the warm season forages right here. And then basically 10 others, 10 and higher. And these species also, you can see the protein, crude protein and the tannin. These were the second preference, and then these were the fourth and fifth. This is the least preferred species. So how about the sheep? They pretty much ate all of these species up to the height of 3.7 feet from the ground level, and they maintain body condition score between 3 to 3.8 and Fibonacci score 1.4 to 2.6. So when it did the live weight of those animals, you can see they just keep on gaining until they were about 3 years old right here. It started like 6 to 7 months old, and these were the fluctuation we get when they were shifting from one grazing system to the next, or the spring grazing to the summer grazing. So this is the FAMACHA and body condition score. At the beginning, when animals were younger, it was more fluctuating when we transitioning from the good pasture to cool season to warm season, and then woodland grazing, all that. When they were more mature, it was more stabilized. But again, you can see the average of BCS and the FAMACHA score right here. So there was the significant correlation between the live weight condition score and the FAMACHA, and indicates higher live weight and condition score is developing more resilience of animals against the this FAMACHA, low score of FAMACHA. And then we didn't apply any dewormer to those animals, and that is true for equal or a little bit more than 3 years now. So we are not using any to those animals. So even if you look at the carcass characteristics on the animals, those are finished on all this grazing. So this is 160 pound live weight, 81.4% of dressing percentage, and then 23% protein, and close to 4% of fat. So in the conclusion, all these, if we raise animals with that, having all those kind of plants into the grazing system, we can enhance the sustainability of the small ruminant grazing, because they increase the diet variety, biomass, and quality, reduce the feeding cost because of availability of forages for the extended grazing period, and enhance animal health, performance, and also eliminated the need for the chemical dewormer, which is the big now. There is mostly no chemical working. That is true in most part of this country at least. So if we include browse, and if you include different high quality forages for animals, we can minimize that problem that everybody is facing. So this is the support we got from different organizations, from our university and our team, program team. So that made us possible to conduct all that different kind of study, long-term study. So with that, I conclude my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention and time. My contact information, if you feel like to contact me later on, and I would like to take a few questions if you have. Yes?
What was the parasitic load at the beginning of the study? Because if we eliminated one thing is eliminating the need, because from the get-go they didn't have parasites. And another thing is that they had, but you didn't need to treat them. So what was the get-go on parasitic load?
Yeah, we did not analyze the fecal count of the whole animal herd, but what we did is whichever needed the parasite, which were having the FAMACHA score 3 or above, we dewormed them at the beginning of this study, but the rest of them we did not. And we had to deworm at the beginning, like maybe at the initial 1 year or so. So that is what it is. But we didn't count, we didn't collect fecal sample from every individual. But we went like we followed the strategy of smart ranging, and we applied that during our study. Any other questions? Thank you very much.